to move into the next panel. So if I can have my guests, Michelle, Just Erica, as they come up, let's give them a round of applause. The information is giving. Isn't it giving? The information is giving. All right, awesome. Okay, so we are going to jump right into this panel. So let's go ahead and start by you all introducing yourselves. Again, Ryan, you can go last because we just, and then we'll just go down here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody. Sorry I'm late. I literally just walked in, so I made it right time. Thank God for that. My name is Just Erica Angelique. I specialize in branding, marketing, content. So some of the services I offer are photography, web design, content marketing, and content strategy.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Thames. I wear many hats. I own a marketing agency with my husband. I'm also a podcaster, speaker, influencer. I've been in the game for the last 14 years doing marketing. And so I love all things marketing, and we're talking about big money marketing, so it's gonna be good.
You just heard from Ryan, but tell us a little bit more about your company.
Sure. So I'm Ryan McCurry, the Funnel Doctor. We're a full-fledged digital marketing agency. We specialize in Facebook ads, of course, Instagram ads, funnel strategy, and email automation. Work with mainly multiple 6- and 7-figure clients that really just help get their product and service in front of more people.
Awesome. And my name is Tamika Thomas. You guys have heard from me already this morning. And I am a life and relationship coach. I'm also a podcaster. Listen, podcasting is an amazing way to go. If you like to talk, raise your hand. If you like, yes, get on that mic and record those conversations. I'm also a 6-time author and doing, many things. So God is good. God is good. Let's get into these strategies. I want to start with there's all the things, y'all. We got trends, threads, listen, there's so many ways for us to market on social media and for us to position ourselves on social media. With all the many ways and directions that we can go, how do you guys niche down and say, okay, I'm going to use this? I know Candace talked about starting with one, mastering that, and then spreading out. How have you found it successful, and where do we start? Where do we start with all the places on social media?
I guess I'll start. I think it really depends on when clients come to us, their goals, because everyone has a different goal when it comes to what you really want to do in marketing, just like Ryan was saying in the previous panel. Facebook is a really, really good tool, but so is Instagram, and so is YouTube. But you really have to decide which one is best for you. I believe also in multi-channel marketing and omnipresence as well, because you can't just rely on one specific platform. So say you start with Instagram, you should have an email list also as well, whether you're service-based or a product-based business, because that email list is going to be gold. So I say start with Instagram, maybe if that is your cup of tea, but then you still want to make sure that your clients and customers would be frequent on Instagram. For me, definitely millennials are my target audience. They definitely are on Instagram and they're on Facebook. So I'm starting with those two right off the bat, but also knowing that email is so powerful to also couple it with that. But I think it really depends on the goals. There's so many, like you said, trends. Let's get on Threads. Let's get on Limit 8. Let's get on all these platforms. But that platform may not be the best for you if your ideal client or customer doesn't frequent that platform, if that's not a platform that they use consistently. So I would just say start with your goals. First, do you want to reach more people, brand awareness? Are you trying to get more clients and customers? Are you trying to get sales? So really starting with your base goals first.
Okay,
I think I'm a business owner that really listens to what people tell me, because I'm servicing my audience the best way that I can. So if people start asking are you on this, are you on that, then this one's okay, I'll do it, because if y'all there, then I'll be there too, okay? So I think for me, when I started my business, I set up all these social media accounts. I set up my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter. I even got YouTube. Don't post on Twitter, don't post on YouTube, but I feel like if my audience starts to want that type of content from me, then I'll start producing it because that's, what they're wanting. I just want to make sure that wherever I am, I want to make sure that I'm providing the value that they want to see from me, not just something that I just pop up one day like, oh, I'm going to start YouTube. But for what? Because nobody asked me to do that. So that's my advice on that. Just start wherever you know for sure your audience is, and just wait to do some of the other stuff until you feel like there's an absolute need for it. Because people are always going to tell you like where they want you to be, or what they want to see from you, what they want to, what they want to see you sell, or offer as a service or product. So just talk to your audience, and that just comes from just being open with them. Get on live, figure out like what they want, do polls in your Instagram stories, things like that.
Awesome. So I hear you guys saying, listen to your audience. Ryan, you talked a little bit about building that email list. I know I saw some hands go up when Candace asked about the email list, and folks know that they need to start the email list. What's the best way to start? Just to start collecting those emails and start talking to them so you can listen to them?
I mean, definitely having a really good lead magnet. So just something of value that you give in exchange for people's name, email, and phone number. So when I'm talking about building your list, I'm definitely talking about phone number as well. Because I know someone was up there and said like your email list over is like 2%. So it's harder to get in people's email inboxes, especially with Gmail, like promotions, spam, it's definitely hard. So you want to have a really good lead magnet so that can be an ebook, a PDF, checklist, webinar, like a lot of different things. People always ask me, what's the best lead magnet? It's like, it depends. You got to test different stuff, but the main thing is you got to start somewhere. You cannot just rely on social media. You have to have them on a database that you own so you can communicate with them if something happens with the platforms.
Awesome. And then starting off, what are some sites or some places that they can use to start collecting those emails and CRMs?
Like, CRM, so like Go High Level is a great one, ClickFunnels, Kartra, Shopify, e-commerce brands and Shopify, or Simplify Pages. Those are the main ones that we use. There are like a lot of other ones. As far as like your, that's the landing page to collect. But then the back end part is like, Klaviyo, ActiveCampaign, Keep, ConvertKit, that was a popular one. So there are a lot of different platforms you can use. MailChimp, I know people still use that, hopefully not, but.
Oh, MailChimp. They may use it.
Let me play up there. I think, honestly, I use MailChimp, you know what I mean? So I think it depends on where you are. It's a great tool to an extent, So I know it's free and everything like that to a certain amount of context. So it's great as a starter, but at some point I think you need to transition off, but it depends on where you are.
Do you feel like MailChimp doesn't have a lot of different features that one may need as they're growing?
Yeah, as they're growing, like, I personally like, my three favorite are ActiveCampaign, Keep, and Klaviyo. So if you're e-commerce, definitely Klaviyo. If you're not e-commerce, either Keep or ActiveCampaign, because you can just segment more, you can then use the automations better. I know a lot of the all-in-one platforms now, like Go High Level or Kartra are great also. But MailChimp, don't get me wrong, like, it's definitely good. I started in there, but at some point I think you should have to transition.
I love that. I love ActiveCampaign. That's a really good one. We'll have some time for some questions. Write that down. I know Candace also talked about batching your emails. That's something that I do, and I spend a lot of time to get those emails out and then push them out to my audience. How do we deal with when you're like this one about the heck? Oh yes, and then nothing. How have you guys overcome those times where you're like, I know that this is the one, and then it falls flat? What are some things that you do to boost your, keep your confidence up and continue to go even when things are not working?
Oh, this is good. Well, somebody saw the email. Yeah. Somebody definitely saw it. I'm a person, I send emails every day, actually, every day of the week, sometimes on weekends too. So I really built up my email list to know that I'm going to send emails. I've definitely sent out campaigns where it's like, oh, they're about to buy this offer, and then they don't. I want you to know that happens to everybody, even people who have six-figure launches. Sometimes it's just not the right product, and you have to say, okay, well, let me recalibrate, come back and see what may work. You may have to test things, not know you talked about testing. It is a science experiment. Hey, this worked this week, let me test a different type of email. I've been using ChatGPT. I know, we're talking about ChatGPT. I definitely use that to help me come up with what the email theme will be and then go from there. You know how easy it is to come up with 5 emails for the week, have them all planned out, and just go about my day, and then my husband be like, oh my gosh, your email today was great. I forgot that I was saying that. So definitely think about, how you can get those out quickly, but do also know that everyone has failed emails that are like, oh, I thought this was going to be the one. But when you're consistent, and when people see your emails over and over, they see you over and over, all that's going to do is build your credibility. So just keep going. Know that in the back of your mind, somebody saw it, and they may buy next week. Maybe this week they didn't have the money in their account. Like I'm always, conscious of that. Maybe this week wasn't the right week. Maybe next Friday will be better. So just keep that in the back of your mind all the time too.
Thank you.
You brought up a really great point. Like when you're launching and you are so excited about this product or service and you send that email and nobody buys it. I've been there 2 times specifically I can think of right now, but then there's other times where you're just, generally, just putting out emails like on an everyday basis without promoting something specifically, not during launch time. So I want to kind of address your question, but with 2 different scenarios, because I feel like there's, your daily content that you'll post, your daily emails and things like that make it crickets. And then there's another scenario where you are launching something and then you get crickets. So how I normally address my daily content, emails, whatever that may be, whatever that may look like, I don't give up. I continue to be consistent and put it out there because you know what? When I'm talking to my clients and I get them on this discovery call, they tell me, oh, I've been following you for X amount of time. And it was this email or it was this piece of content that I saved that stuck with me that made me realize, like, okay, I want to work with her, but not right now. I'm going to do this, whatever the reason may be. And I just find myself so thankful and grateful that I did the work that people remember years down the line. Because everybody is not always ready when you're ready. When you're ready to send an email, that person may not be ready. So don't get discouraged there. Just keep going. Now, if you're launching something, so I realized I guess I can call them failed launches because I've definitely had 2 different scenarios where I'm like, this is so great. Super excited about it, and I launched it, and nobody bought into it. Why? Then I have to go back and do the homework, like, what did I do? Because I missed something. So to get yourself out of that, or to try to prepare not to have that, like, always make sure that you are talking to your audience, letting them know what's to come, getting their feedback. And that has been the difference between, like, having a very successful launch versus something that I just popped up with overnight, what it seems like to my audience. So I remember, like, during those times where I didn't hear back from anything or didn't get any email responses, it was because I wasn't taking them along my journey behind the scenes of creating whatever it was. I wasn't sending, like, nurturing emails weeks prior to me launching it. I wasn't talking about it in my stories. I wasn't putting out little teasers or whatever. But when I do those types of things, that's when people are like, okay, you're building that anticipation and it's making people get really excited about what it is so that when you actually do launch it, so that when it's time to launch, it's like you have these group of people that have been excited about it because you've been excited about it. People can't be excited about what you got excited about. Like, they can't see that. So if you're keeping all that in, you're going to get crickets. So don't keep that.
I love that. Okay, so Michelle says she's sending emails every day, y'all. Y'all hear that? Every single day. So I wanted to, let's talk about that. I want to talk about the power of consistency and how do you stay consistent, and also how often should we be engaging with our audience. So Ryan, I want to talk about, like, with ads, like how often should you be running new ads, Michelle, on social media or in email, and then also with social media. Like, I know folks are thinking, well, how often do I post? When do I post? How do I say? Are they going to get tired of me? Who's ever had that question? Like, are they going to get tired of me? Are they going to unsubscribe? And those different things. So let's talk about the power of consistency and how do you guys really put your information out there and combat those negative self-talks of, oh, they're going to get tired of me, and what happens when they do unsubscribe?
Yeah, as far as ads, I think you definitely should be running ads all the time if your budget permits. Even if it just continues to build your email list, that's an ad that I think can be evergreen. And then as far as like different content, like, because you can have one campaign that runs for a while, but you can still put new ads into it. So another main thing not to actually talk about, but is ad fatigue. So that's if you have like the same ad running all the time, showing to the same audience. It's called frequency in the ads manager. If that's high, it's going to have your ads start performing, poorly, because Facebook doesn't want to upset their users. So if people keep seeing the same ad over and over and over, you just want to do fresh content. So try different videos, try different images. It can be the same campaign. It can go to the same call to action, but just test different ads. That's another thing that's important with the success, is just test different stuff. Because it's like emails. We don't know which one's going to hit, but you have to, take enough, you have to take enough shots to even see which one is going to hit. So I'm just always about like doing new stuff and fresh. I literally might be walking off stage and do a video and then post this ad and just see how it does.
That's good.
Oh yes, consistency is key for everything. Especially for me, I show up all the time, and people are like, oh my God, Michelle, I heard a podcast, I got this email, I saw you on Facebook. But the real thing is, everybody, I plan out this stuff, because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I run 2 businesses, I'm doing so many things, and I actually work in my client's business. We run our agency. I'm not just the person like, oh, Sarah's gonna be on this call, or Michelle's gonna be on the call, and Michelle's gonna be taking care of whatever needs to be done. So I do also do that, but just planning things out. But when people see you consistently, they're gonna trust you. My podcast, we do 3 episodes a week. People are like, how do you do that? Batch create. I take one day and I record 10 episodes. They're literally 5 to 7 minutes long. So I have the outline, boom, do everything in one day. Same thing with email. I know I'm gonna send emails every day, so when we set up the next 2 weeks, 10 emails, boom, that's done. Oh, I wanna go live? Okay, what's the live gonna be about? Let me write the outline, boom, that's done. Literally, if you have a topic or a theme that you're surrounding for each month, create the content around that, so you're not feeling so overwhelmed, so you're not feeling like, oh my God, I have to create this content in real time. It will just take the stress off of you. But like you said, consistency is key. I feel people are saying, oh, you could, not post a lot. Where? If you don't post on Instagram, no one is going to see you. The gurus be saying, oh, you just post one time. Yeah, if you have an audience. Yeah, if you have ads running, all those things in the background. But if you don't, if you're starting, if you're building, you have to show up. No one's going to trust you. No one's going to buy your stuff. No one's going to come to your conference that you're running. You have to show up. So definitely in the beginning, yes. Once you build that audience, being consistent, it could be looking like, okay, I'm going to post on my podcast, my YouTube, whatever, but it's all planned out. So just be consistent, and when you do that, definitely you'll build that lifelong trust with your audience.
All right, show of hands. How many of you want to make money every day? Okay. Everybody got their hand raised? Not everybody, okay. So that means that if you want to make money every day, that looks like you need to be posting or showing up every day. Okay, so that's the mentality that I had as I was growing my brand. I had ads running, I was sending emails, I was posting every day. And so now, batch creating is like my best friend, so that's something that I love to do for myself and also for my clients as well. So we get together, we have these content days, so that way they don't have to stress about what to post every single day. Like Michelle, I'm also a mom. You got all these things. People going to school, work, got kids, taking care of your kids, just all types of stuff. But it's like as long as you have some content ready, it's like you can always get up and post whatever you need to. And I think too, like with batch creating and just being consistent, you don't always have to necessarily like bank on that, because it may be some days where you, like for example, if I had all my content planned out, for the month, and I'm now doing this conference, it's like, oh, I didn't put this into my content plan. Like, that's okay. Like, figure out how you can, still work that in. Or whenever you get inspired to go live. Like, I remember it was this one day, I'm like, something in my spirit is just telling me to go live right now. I really don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to trust you, God, and I'm hearing you, so I'm going to just do it. And that wasn't in my content plan, but I got up and got on live, and I made some money from that live. With 3 people on the live, one person bought into my service. So it's like, you have to just have your plan together, but always just, whenever you feel it, just do it. Like, there's, because there's other ways that, God will, telling you to, do something or to be consistent in, certain areas. But I also feel that, as you do the work and, meet him halfway, he takes care of you.
That's so good. That's so good. So often let's clap it up for that. Because imposter syndrome will have us thinking you gotta have 100,000 people on the live for you to make money. And she said with 3 people, y'all, with 3 people, she was able to generate some money. So I want to give you guys a really quick trick. Who's been taking notes for this conference? How many of you guys have like bullet points like, ooh, that was good? Those could be emails, y'all. Those are emails, right? So I have all my emails scheduled out to December. Because I said I got 8 kids. I got 8 kids, okay? So I take time and I say, oh, I like when they said this. And then here's a bigger trick, y'all. Who got Canva? Okay. Who got Canva Pro? Okay. You got that doc? Canva Pro now has docs. You go into Magic Write and you say something that somebody said. Let me pull something else. I said, you will not be delayed. Give me 5 steps of how to not delay the process. Those are your emails, y'all. It's so simple. Because Canva will then say, don't do. And that's your email. You know, you make it yours, you put a little spice on it, you talk to your audience the way you talk to them, and they love it. Y'all, I sent an email out that I scheduled, I don't know how long ago, and it was about creating a prayer closet. So many people reached back out to me and was like, oh my God, Tamika, I needed this. And then I said, oh wow, I'm so glad that served you. Book a clarity call. That's how we do those things, but you have to be intentional. So I want to talk a little bit about getting into folks' DMs. They say it go down in the DMs. That's what they say. So I want to talk about DM marketing because I know that could be a big scary thing that a lot of people don't do because who's ever gotten those scammy emails, right? We've gotten them. And so we're afraid to do it because we know how it feels when you're the receiver. But what's the importance of DM marketing? Do you guys suggest it? And how do we do it authentically and with integrity?
Yeah, and they probably can speak to it better than me because it's not all the way my expertise for DM marketing, but we definitely do it. I know the important thing is generally the open rates and click-through rates are higher. You know, so again, it's all about just getting in front of people. So everybody's on Instagram, Facebook, and so forth. So whatever you're trying to put in the message, it's about getting eyeballs on it. So everyone generally, even if they don't respond, for the most part, they open a DM. So that's what I've seen, it's just a higher open and click-through rate. And then I believe also, once someone interacts with it, you can only respond. You can only message people if they interact within the last 24 hours or something like that. So you do want to be strategic with it. I know there's a lot of compliance stuff around it, but I think it's using it to your advantage to whatever you're offering it, just getting it in front of more eyeballs via DM message marketing.
Oh, DM is big money marketing. Yeah. So I use it a few different ways. One way that I've recently started using DM marketing is automations via my podcast. So during my podcast episodes, I use ManyChat, which is an automatic DM system that will send your clients and customers who are interested maybe a link that whatever you're talking about. So one specific episode on my podcast, I was talking about AI and this amazing AI guide for free that I created, which is a lead magnet. And so I mentioned it in the podcast episode to DM me the word AI or the AI bot. And so I set it up in ManyChat and to send them the message. I got like 100 responses from that one DM, and I didn't have to respond, right, because it responded for me. But then I also had another message that came behind it and said, oh, I'm so glad that you're a listener of my podcast. Thank you so much. Can you go and leave a review? Because now what does that do? If that person wanted to send you a DM or they wanted to connect with you, now they're more likely to do whatever else it is that you want them to do after. So it could be, hey, jump on a call with me, or hey, check out my latest training or whatever it is, but lead them to somewhere else. So I did that on there. I also do it on my posts on social media as well. You can say, hey, comment the word cash flow, and I'll send you the link to my group. So those are different ways that you can leverage it. I also leverage it with challenges and trainings. When people send me a DM from a challenge, they're most likely to do the next step or sign up for whatever it is that I'm offering because now they're warm leads. And I'm a person that definitely develops relationships. It's not all about numbers to me. I do talk to people in the DMs. I do answer questions, but not picking my brain. But answering questions, I will answer questions. So just develop those relationships with people and just have conversations because you never know where it can lead to. Someone DM'd me on Facebook. They had been following me for a while, and they said, "Oh, Michelle, I really love that post." And I started talking to them. Boom, they wanted to get on a one-on-one call, and then I booked them as a 5-figure one-on-one client. So it really can happen just like that.
The way that I use DMs is very significant to my business because that's kind of like the first step for me sometimes. So a lot of my content, I am always letting my audience know, shoot me a DM if you have questions. And the reason for that is because I know that I'm not cheap. So I want you to be able to ask all the questions that you need to ask me before you make that commitment to make that investment, because once we locked in, we locked in. So, it ain't no switch So, my DM strategy is, I like to really be like personal with my clients because I am the person that you are working with during the service. So I like to figure out like what they need. And then I'm also not like, a lot of the times I'm not texting back, I'm sending voice notes because I want you to hear my tone, I want you to feel my energy, because that is also like building that rapport and making them feel comfortable, like, oh, like, because people are always gonna like perceive you to be a certain way, but like when they can actually hear you, it's like, oh, she's actually like this, she's actually really nice and sweet and funny and, you know, all these things. So it's like, yeah, I want you to feel that. And so that's kind of like a good, you know, first step for me, because as I'm talking to them, I'm trying to get them into like the second step into my funnel, which is getting them on the phone call, because I make a lot of money during like my discovery sales calls. So if they're comfortable with me from Instagram, I know that they're going to be that much more comfortable with me once I get them on the phone, once it's ready for them to take that next step and pay me.
And you can run ads to get someone to message you too. That's another thing. That can be a call to action in your ad is, hey, send me a message, and then you can start the automation, the DM, everything like that. So you can run paid ads to that too.
And these are all funnels, guys. A lot of times we think funnel has to be like this complex thing. She said that's part of her funnel. So getting them in a DM and then starting that process. So I want you guys to get ready to ask questions. So in the morning, God spoke through me that said to command your body language to be ready to exceed an expectation. So if you know that you have a question for anybody on the panel, let's start lining up now so we can let's go. We're going to move. We're going to do it expeditiously. You know how they said in church? We're going to move, right? All right, so the last question that I wanted all of the panel to address was, I lost it. So let's go ahead and start with these questions, and then if it comes back to me, I'll ask it to you all. We'll start on this end.
Okay, so my question is, like, I wear a lot of hats, and I have my business, but I also still work a full-time job. And so I'm all about outsourcing if it makes my life easier. And I'm interested in, I guess, a social media manager, but I'm not sure if that's actually what I need, because I want someone to help me with my content. I want somebody to help me run my page, because sometimes I don't have time to get on every day and post. Does that include them coming up with captions? Is it something I have to do? I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do I need? Is it a social media manager? Is it a content creator?
Oh, sorry. Okay. This is like my area, so that's why I was like so ready to answer your question. You can find somebody that creates the content like for you if you want to come up with your own captions, but I think it starts with you figuring out what all you actually want to do in your business, so that way you know what to outsource. Like if you don't mind like writing your stuff, then all you need is just the visuals to go with whatever you're writing. But there are people that can help you do both. There's people that can help you create the content, there's people that can help you write all your captions, and then there's even people that wouldn't mind scheduling for you. But I do think that, you know, if you can kind of find somebody that specializes in all three, that's a plus. But if you can find someone that specializes just in writing your captions and scheduling it out for you, that's an option to take too. But figure out what it is that like you actually have time for. Because creating content is work. Sometimes you actually have to like plan for that, and you know,
I don't mind creating like a video. Like I'm in my spot, I have my camera on, I'm creating video, but then editing and trying to get.
There's people for that too. Record all you want to record. Give them examples. This is my footage, but I want my video to look like this. Provide them with an example, because there's editors that you can hire too.
Oh no, I was gonna say the same thing she said.
No, that's a really important question as well, because I'm sure most people in here, including myself, that's one of the biggest reasons why it doesn't get done. It's because it's up to us. So really just having that mindset of like, it has to get done, but it doesn't have to be me. Like I'm big on the who, not how. If you haven't read that book, definitely read that book. But yeah, it's just thinking about, okay, it needs to get done, but like I can do but so much, and it may not even be my strength, but who can I connect with, who can I hire to actually do it for me? Because it has to get done across.
And what was the name of that book again?
Who, not how.
That's y'all. Who, not how. I saw y'all. I'm like, what?
That's my whole motto. Like, who, not how. Something got to get done. Who want to do it? Who want to help me do it? Don't got to just be me.
Hi. I'm wondering what, when you guys have an offer that you're launching, how do you schedule that out? And what automation platforms do you find reliable? Like I use Later, but sometimes it's not very reliable, and you can't control, like sharing Facebook, and you can't control how the story, like the square looks on the grid, and that's really annoying. So just wondering if you guys have figured that out.
Oh, that's good. All of those platforms are glitchy, so it just really depends, especially if you're using it with clients. I know you say you do social media management. Yeah, it's really glitchy. I use another one called Loomly as well. They're really affordable. And when planning out launches, the way that I do it and the way that my clients do it, we plan it out quarterly. I mean, I have clients who are planning out Black Friday. We've been talking about Black Friday since August. So really thinking about what you have coming and doing like a pre-launch, launch, and post-launch, really thinking about those things that go into that, like sharing on Instagram. Are you going to use email? What channels are you going to focus on, and what the end goal is? But really, if you want to launch, if it's something like a course, many people do maybe 2 to 4 weeks lead time in promotion up until that launch, because you're going to need, obviously, time for people to sign up, but that's typically how we plan launches.
And I wanted to ask that too, because I agree with you. All these automation platforms be glitchy. I stopped using them years ago. So, but what I do is create all of my stuff and then just schedule out, send yourself a reminder. If you don't want to use them, it's better to have all the things already done, and then you just set out 2 minutes at the most, you know, just to put it up there, make sure it all looks right, because that's still saving you more time rather than trying to figure out what to post on that day and creating it that day, going up with a caption and then put it out there.
Right.
I agree. I don't know the truth about behind shadow banning, but they say a lot of times when you use scheduling apps, there's some, like Facebook or Instagram doesn't like to play with you when you use those. So I get in my phone and I know when my folks are most active on social media, and I set an alarm. And then I prophesy to my posts. I say, you about to go viral. Viral post, viral this, a post of this. So I learned to do that. Is there any truth behind using the scheduling apps that you don't get as much engagement when you use those?
I kind of felt that way. That's why I kind of stopped using it, because I felt like if I did this manually on my own time, I felt like it got more engagement. And if I was using the automation, sometimes I kind of felt like,
I mean, it depends. My clients have hundreds of thousands of followers on their page. There's no way we could post everything in real time. So sometimes, I mean, you have to use scheduling tools. I honestly haven't had any issues, and I used to work for a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm definitely scheduling those posts, and they reach millions of people. So I think that that's just something that someone has said that may have been misconstrued the wrong way. While it may have some truth, I don't necessarily think it's a hindrance.
and it probably depends on the account too.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. Marilyn Gilbert Mitchell from MGM College Services. And my question is, because one of my targeted audiences is to reach corporations so that I can offer my college planning services for their employees who are also parents. So it's a win-win for the company and a win for the parents, especially low-income first-generation students, which is where my heart is. My question is, How do, everything that you described was really about LinkedIn and Facebook, which I understand, but for the people that I'm targeting on a corporate level, they're on LinkedIn. So how would you adjust this or tweak this to reach that audience, but also accelerate? Because it's taken me 6 months to say, hi, how you doing? I read your article, it was great. What do you do? Let's jump on the call. That takes a long time, and I don't necessarily want to wait 6 months to build these relationships. So how do I do it quickly? How would you adjust this for a LinkedIn audience with C-suiters who don't have time and they need to learn me quickly?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think you may need to like get with somebody that can help you run some ads, because I feel like you're trying to find your audience quickly, so you need to do something that's very targeted to that direct group. So trying something like that, and then also I believe too that get in the rooms with these people. Like if you have connections where they can gather, you know, a group of people that you're trying to talk to, like have like those in-person connections, because you're able to sit with them and like try to get some signups that day, because you actually have them, you know, in your face. If you feel like you're chasing them, it shouldn't be that way. But you need like something different about your funnel that'll help you channel things a little bit quickly.
And LinkedIn is a long-term game, just to be honest. These same strategies apply to LinkedIn because they have video, they have blog, they have all these things. But your audience is definitely on LinkedIn, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not gonna be quick. Nothing is going to be quick except if you use ads, but it's still great to have an organic foundation, because without that, you kind of have nothing. So I know several people who have leveraged LinkedIn in a very great way, but again, it takes time. There's this book that was like $4. If you look on Amazon, I think it's like, I would look it up on my phone and give it to you, but it gives very basic strategies on how to get started on LinkedIn, like what you can do, and you can take that and apply it, but it's still gonna be a long-term game with LinkedIn.
Thank you.
And sometimes with like LinkedIn, with all the platforms, follow those people that you want to service and get in their comments, reach out to them. Sometimes Brian talked about shoot your shot. Sometimes we have to be the one to, engage first. They might not know, a lot of times they don't know that we exist. So you have to follow them, get in there, when they share something valuable, comment in that, and then when they'll see that, because if that boosts their engagement, when they see you comment and they see you engage, and so they'll go back and be like, who is this Maven, right? Who is this woman? So that, that may help as well.
Thank you, thank you for all the information.
Hello, my name is Tajana Bradley. I am a postpartum nurse. I own a postpartum concierge business. In July, we hosted a postpartum gala, which was very successful, and I give a lot of credit to like the DM marketing. After that, I decided to send an email to like all of our attendees and kind of follow up with like a survey. And to my disappointment, a lot of people did not receive my emails. So I guess my question is, how do you prevent your emails from going to spam? Is there something that I can tell them besides, oh, check your emails, you can check your spam, make sure you receive my email?
I guess it depends on what platform. Were you sending directly from your Gmail email?
I was. Well, no, actually it was Squarespace, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, Gmail is notorious for going in people's spam. So I would definitely sign up. I know we were talking about different platforms. I actually use ConvertKit, and although they may have some issues too, but I also use a website called Stan as well. It's an all-in-one platform. They also have email, but again, it just really depends on the platform and the deliverability. But if it's coming from a Gmail.com, they're going to probably put that in spam, versus if it's coming from MichelleThames.com, that will probably go to the email inbox versus the Gmail. It's just what Gmail is. I don't really know why, but yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, I know Gmail allows you to get professional email accounts, so would you consider that?
Yes, G Suite, I think it could be $9.99 a month, but definitely if you have your website, I would get it connected to Gmail, so that way you can just have a website with your email.
And did you say you use Squarespace?
I do.
Like for emailing?
Email, selling the tickets on there, yes.
Okay, I asked because I use Squarespace too, for everything. So, So have you already like purchased a professional email or no? Are you?
I have not. Like I just started to like grow, and that was something that I wanted to do. But I just assumed everyone was receiving my emails. Like I had a high click rate when I looked at everything. But then like one person who was really heavily invested, I was like, hey, did you do the survey? She's like, I didn't get a survey. And I'm like,
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
I want to give you the steps because I know them like back of my head. You got a notebook?
Also, text. I would text it too. I would text them a survey too, not just email.
So, when you log in to your to the back end of your website, Squarespace allows you to go in and set up like a professional email, so you don't have to go to. Did you buy your domain through Squarespace? Perfect. Okay, easy. So you're gonna go through. You're gonna find. They always change the name, but you want to look for where it says. It may say G Suite or professional email, but you're able to go there, create your professional email address. So it'll be something at yourdomainname.com. So after you set that up, then you're going to go back to the marketing panel where that's where the email addresses and stuff live. So you're going to go there, and you probably have an error, or maybe not, but there's something back there under the email marketing panel where you have to verify your domain name and email address. So once you set up the professional email, make sure that you go back to the marketing panel for the email campaigns and switch all that over to the new email address, and that should fix your problem.
Awesome. All right, we have under a minute, so 30 seconds, ladies. Get your question out.
Okay, hey everyone, I'm Kanisha Lewis, owner of Majesty Luxe Spa, and I want to get in the habit of posting every day, but I also know I need a social media manager or a graphic designer or content creator, and in order for me to post every day and stay within my budget, it's kind of not feasible for me right now to have someone to create my content every day. So how do I incorporate my content that I do on my own without lowering the quality of my actual marketing?
I think people want to see your true authentic self.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like over the top. It can be straight from your iPhone, which most people are just recording on their iPhones. Use the back of your iPhone because it's the better camera. And I would say just schedule that content out. You'll be surprised probably how many people will relate to you more and want to be a client more just by you authentically posting. I think sometimes we want a social media manager, but sometimes that person doesn't understand strategy. They are just sometimes a social media manager is just a poster that posts the content. They don't necessarily know how to do copy, know how to do anything else. So I think that it will be best coming from you, and you can even schedule out that content on some of the platforms that we talked about too.
Okay. I agree with that. And like right now with social media, like a lot of people are really gravitating towards video content. And I say that off of how my business has shifted over like the last year and a half. So whereas when I first started, I was so heavy on graphics. But when Reels came out, I'm like, ain't nobody looking at graphics. It wasn't nobody looking at graphics, so it's like you have to figure out like what does your content actually need. You may not need a graphic designer if you know how to use Canva and create like some basic posts to get like your stuff out. But I agree with you, pushing out video content and allowing people to like really connect with you through that.
Let's give it up for this panel, y'all.